So Cal Fire, I was hired at the in 2006 with Cal Fire. I worked my 9 years with them, 3 so 2016. I was hired with LA City Fire Department, and then I've been with them ever since. Yeah. So my diagnosis, you know, uh, working especially at a busy fire department like LA, especially at a busy station, you start getting really beat down. Like starts wearing on you. You start getting really tired, and your body starts, letting you know, like, hey, I need some sleep, I need rest. So I started getting really tired. Just like I would sleep. Sometimes I would sleep the whole day, or take naps during the day, and that wasn't like me. And it was just it was weird because I felt like, okay, I'm eating okay. I'm trying to work out when I can. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, but I'm tired all the time. And then I started having a lot of abdominal issues, sharp pains that would come and go. I kind of chalked it up to stress and just being tired, because that's what we do. We just drink some coffee or have an energy drink, which I've been trying to cut back on, especially now. I don't really touch them, but you just shake it off and you get back on the rig and you keep running calls. So there was times where I was on duty and I started having sharp pains. I actually went to the ER on duty once because of my abdominal pain. I was running calls on people and I was sicker than them, and I'm trying to treat them. So I went. I was having blood in my stool. I kind of thought maybe, like, I have some sort of IBD or IBS, or maybe just there was like a hemorrhoid or something. Like I never thought it was cancer. You know, you never think it, especially because of my age. I don't have any family history of colon cancer. Um, so I started having the blood, the sharp pains. I'd go to the ER. I went to the ER total of 3 times. Each time they would just do a CT. They kind of, the ER is there for just to make sure you're not dying. You know, Once they get past that, you got to follow up with your primary care physician or a specialist. So they would always kind of just be like, follow up. But at the time of COVID, they weren't giving colonoscopies. It was impossible. I think they gave me the first time I called, they gave me a 9 month wait just to get a colonoscopy. So I was kind of just like, you know what? I don't know what I'm worried about. It's probably nothing. I'm just gonna make some adjustments to my diet or something. But right around my birthday, which was July 7th, it started getting really bad to where, I was calling out sick from work. I just didn't know what was going on. I couldn't go to the bathroom. It was getting, I wasn't passing anything eventually, like just like some liquid here and there. And I always felt like I had to use the restroom, and there was just like that tiredness was unreal. I was just like tired around here, it was taking a toll on my family. I just didn't know what was going on. So about that time, I finally was calling around frantic. I finally got a appointment with a gastroenterologist for my colonoscopy, and I went, and just thinking like, finally, they're gonna tell me like I have some sort of irritable bowel disease or something. And I go, and the doctor comes back, and usually you have to wait for the pathology, but he came back in the room right after I had my procedure. I was kind of out of it. They give you some propofol before they do the surgery, so you're out for the whole thing. Um, so he came back in and he says, "It looks like you have cancer." Just like, kind of just like, I'm just kind of like looking down just out of it in a daze. I just kind of looked up at him. I'm like, "What do you like? What? Like, what do you mean I have cancer?" But the tumor had, a tumor that that is cancerous, has a distinctive look to it. And by the time that he did the colonoscopy on me, he said I was about 95% occluded of my colon. So the tumor was about the size of a plum by that time, and it wasn't allowing anything to pass. It was getting to the point where I wasn't even going to be able to pass liquids. So they needed to get me into surgery immediately. They had to remove 12 inches of my colon, about 12 inches. Uh, Luckily, I didn't need a colostomy bag. They were able just to take a section out and just um, pretty much took a pipe out and so put it back together. They removed the tumor, and it was weird because the surgeon came in afterward and he said, "Yeah, looks like you got it all. You're cancer free pretty much." And I just kind of just like heard that. And I was just like, "Really? That was it? Like I don't have cancer anymore?" He's like, "You know, it appears not. Like." And I I I don't know why he said that or why because it really gave me a lot of false hope, I guess, because once they sent that off to they took some of my lymph tissue and they sent it off to pathology. And then once they got the test results back, they discovered it was in my lymph tissue by that point. So I wasn't cancer free. Um, Now, seeking now from there, I found out it was in my lymph tissue, and I was at my oncologist told me I was at a high stage 3 at that point, and that they were going to start chemotherapy. And I think I saw a total of 3 oncologists with City of Hope. Um, the first oncologist was I didn't understand a lot of his logic. He couldn't understand the fire service and cancer. He just didn't understand that there is a correlation there. So I kind of had to I had to find an oncologist that understood what I do for a living, and then because that's gonna not only help with the treatment, but it's gonna understand who I am, as a person too. So I got my oncologist now. He's great. They're going to have to do another colonoscopy actually in January because they were only able to see 1/3 of my colon just due to the tumor being so large. They had to use a PEDS scope to just see just my descending colon. So I still got to look at the transverse, and then so they only saw 1/3 of it. So now I got to go back for another one. Praying for good results so they don't find any more tumors. Chemo's tough. It's a definite mental game. Like I see now, like you just have to get rise above it, every day, so it's been tough for me. But now with treatment, I'm halfway there. I did my 6 treatments already. So now I only have 3 more months of chemo, so I kind of see a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully I don't have to do any more because so the firefighter cancer support network, not only do they give you just a plethora of information, I was emailed a box, a big Tupperware box, just full of just resources, phone numbers, people you can call on. Just I kind of at that point, like I mentioned, I was in a really dark place, before you guys started reaching out to me. I was fearful for my family that I was going to leave them, by themselves, so it's tough to think like that, but I see I see the worst, at work every day. You see, I'm a realist. I think about reality. I always try to stay positive, but you get a little jaded, um, seeing just a lot of death, a lot, and people fighting cancer, people on hospice constantly. So you just start thinking the worst case scenario, and all those resources that were brought to my attention kind of just grabbed me, and pulled me out of that darkness. So once you guys started reaching out, um, I started calling some of those numbers, and then people would reach out to me, and other fire departments were reaching out to me and saying, you're not alone. There's all these resources. We're here for you. And I can't tell you what that did for me and did for my family, because you just start taking things out on the people you care about, you know, and it's not right, but you just don't really know how to cope. You have so many emotions going through you at the time, and you just don't know what to do with them all, because I'm so used to helping people, but it's hard for me to ask for help. It's very hard. And I didn't realize that until I talked to um, Dr. Zabala. He's with our department, the psychiatrist, and he would just call me and he just listen. You guys assigned me a mentor, which helped out dramatically because I felt like I went into this very blind. I didn't know who to call. I didn't know what was to be expected, but you guys were able to assign me a mentor, a retiree with LA City Fire that had the same. We told our story to each other, and they're they're similar to the fact that we both had colon cancer. We both were kind of young on the job, Um, we're just like both surprised with the diagnosis. I mean, I was able to bounce a lot of things off of them, pre-surgery, post-surgery, after, you go through treatment, what to expect, how you got to change your life for the better after this, and it's just, he was able just to share a wealth of knowledge with me. And it's been, I've considered myself very lucky and blessed even now, knowing that I have cancer, because just the amount of support you get, and I know my family is looking on me, and they're blown away. They're just like, I can't believe that there's a profession like this out there where we're just like looking after one another. It's just, we're all there for each other, at the end of the day. And that's what really is pushing me through this, it's just making me a better person. And I'm just so appreciative, by everybody. You can't plan enough for something like this. You never do you think it's going to happen to you, especially at a young age. There's a lot of young guys on the job, and everywhere I've been going lately, I'm telling these guys, you know what, guys, you guys got to just be your own advocate. You got to check yourselves, because even if you go to your own doctor, they're going to tell you you're too young. You don't need it. They're just going to say, what's the reasoning for it? But they don't understand. A lot of doctors, they don't understand the occupational risks we take, and long-term risks of that being cancer. Look, I'm a California professional firefighter. What does it say? Firefighting causes cancer, big bold letters. There's millions of dollars that have went into research and studies, and firefighters get cancer, plain and simple. That's an inherent risk. We take that risk, but a lot of guys don't think about it. We just don't want to think about it, I guess, maybe, but it's a reality. Take it from me. It's a reality for guys young on the job. There's a lot of chemicals we come in contact that do cause cancer: organophosphates, diesel, AFFF, colon cancer, right there. So there's a lot of things we come in contact with. Some things we don't even know. You go into a building in downtown LA, it's just loaded to the gills, with just who knows what, and you're inhaling that stuff. So financially, you gotta you I used to have the AFLAC cancer insurance with Cal Fire. I didn't even it was something I just signed up for, when I got hired, and it just kept carrying over. And I honestly didn't even notice it was being taken out of my paycheck. It's not that much, and you don't really notice it. You'll spend that much on a couple cups of coffee, but it would have came in it it would have been really appreciated. I would have really appreciated it at this time, because my cancer, my workman's comp, they denied my cancer claim. You know, not getting your normal paychecks. I've been getting, and you try to plan for the worst case scenario, having a little bit of a savings, and trying to bank up your time, because that's always been stressed to me by the station commander, station captains. hey, bank your time, bank your sick leave. Don't blow through it. Because while I'm going through treatment, I remember just worrying about money. I was about to start chemo, and I was just stressing out about money. Like, my God, like how long am I gonna have to battle this? How long am I gonna be getting these kind of paychecks? So there's not only is there's a lot of avenues out there, firefighter cancer network, that will put you in contact with a lot of these things, but a huge one is exposure reports. uh, just fill them out. They're so easy to do. Even if you do once a week, something, um, that, and know your body, listen to your body, go get checked. Don't be afraid. It's not. People think colonoscopy and they're already off put by it, but it's such an easy process. You're asleep for it, painless. Just going and doing what you think is best for you and your family. Because honestly, I tell these guys nonstop, you're going to be saving a ton of money if you just go for a procedure to get checked and they find something you know, that's not cancerous yet, or if it's in its polyp phase, or, it's not evolved into cancer, so if they could find it before it does, you're going to be saving a ton of money just because you're not going to, it's not going to affect your work rate at all. You're not going to be off, so um, just don't be afraid to talk to somebody. Don't be afraid to reach out to somebody. Spread the word, because I want to be here a long time. To protect my family, to provide for my family, to make you know just the most out of life.